So that's what that feels like.
Yeah, feels
You,
pretty good.
you do that every day, Milad.
Daily.
In and out of the best cars on the planet.
No doubt.
Well, guys, welcome back to The Guru and the Good Dude. This is a fantastic episode we're about to do, and I'm excited about it. We are at Mark Motors in Boerne. As you can tell, there's a few nice cars around me, and I'm with my buddy Milad, who just recently became managing director.
General manager.
General manager. I'm not really sure how this works in the car world. Maybe we'll get into it, but I've known you now for like 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember running into you even like a couple months ago, and you were like, I got something exciting happening. Like something big's coming.
Yep.
And this is it.
Yeah.
Here we are. And so today we're going to get into who is Milad? How'd you get to this point where you're surrounded by these beautiful cars every day? And before we get into that, let's hear a little bit of your backstory. So who are you? Where'd you grow up?
Yeah. Grew up here in San Antonio, born and raised, with the exception of a couple years in Sacramento as a kid.
Did you ever run into Savion in Sacramento?
I did not, no. But Savion's a good dude.
My last guest on the podcast, thanks to you, also from Sacramento.
I can see why he's a good person to have on your show.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
But yeah, grew up here in San Antonio, always been sort of around the car business. My dad's been a GM of different dealerships around San Antonio as well. And it's just sort of part of my blood, my heritage. I love what I do. It's a great time.
What school did you go to? What high school?
I went to Reagan High School.
Nice.
Yeah.
I feel like when I go to Dallas, people ask, if you tell people you're from Dallas, everybody goes, what part of Dallas, right? Like it's what city. What they're really asking is, did you have money or not? San Antonio is the same way, except I feel like everyone asks, what high school did you go to? So I always get to tell people I went to Comfort High School, and they go, what the fuck? Oh, so you were broke? I'm like, no, we were just country. But I had my cousins went to Reagan back in the day, and it was a good school. That was considered out in the country 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So did you grow up in Stone Oak?
I didn't. So grew up in the medical center area.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, grew up in that area. Went to Marshall actually my first semester of high school, and then we moved out to the Stone Oak area after that.
Nice.
Yeah. Did
you play a lot of golf?
I did. I played for Reagan High School.
Oh, heck yeah. So when I talk to people coming from other cities and they're like, oh, my daughter plays golf, my son plays golf, I want him to go to a good school, I recommend like Reagan or Northeast ISD. They have the best golf program in San Antonio.
Yeah, no doubt. We had when I was a freshman there, we had a senior. She qualified for the U.S. Open as an amateur.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you had some good competition.
We had some sticks for sure.
And Milad and I actually know each other from playing golf together.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for all those times at Lock and Terra. That's my new favorite San Antonio golf course for sure.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
But I take it since you started here at Mark Motors, you haven't gotten out much.
Zero golf has been played since I've come out. This is not something I take lightly.
Yeah.
I just want to be a good steward of this business.
Yeah.
I've always admired this place from a distance, and I'm happy to be here. I feel right at home.
So we'll get into where you are now, but let's go back a little bit further. So like after you graduate, you go straight into the car business?
No. I was going to UTSA, studied for a few semesters. I had goals and aspirations to be an attorney. Want to be a lawyer. And I always knew sort of automotive, the car business was an option for me since I've been around it so much growing up. Sort of had a knack for sales, things like that. Worked at the wash tub for a couple of years, was a service advisor there.
There you go.
Sold even timeshares for a while, which was a crazy business to be in.
Man.
And,
Wait, back up, because there's some crossover, like timeshare and real estate. They're similar, except that's some intense selling.
It's very high intensity, a lot of high pressure selling.
How long did you do that?
About 6 or 7 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not long. I've known people in timeshare for a long time, and it is draining, man. Like it's high pressure sales.
Yeah, it's not really something that comes natural for me, that type of selling. I did take some valuable lessons from it, but not my preferred way to sell anything, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it is kind of like a boot camp though for selling.
Hmm.
Because what you're learning is scripts, objection handling, overcoming obstacles with people, a lot of times financial or like misunderstanding of the product or service. So, because this is a business oriented podcast and I'm also a salesperson myself, I would like to dive into that because I think that's something we could talk about.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you recall your training
Hmm.
going into timeshare?
Oh yeah.
Talk about how long was the training? Did they focus on?
Well, it's funny. One of the homeworks that was required of me was to watch Boiler Room. I'm not sure if you ever saw
Oh
that
yeah.
movie.
Oh yeah.
So they had asked me, "Have you seen the movie Boiler Room?" I'm like, nope. So had to watch that. So that was interesting. I really did enjoy that movie. Certainly made an impact on me on how to sell things. And shadowed for a few days, and then they said, "Okay, cool, go ahead and get after it." And it was a lot of it was emotionally based selling,
Yeah.
which was interesting. Is there was a lot of things that they taught you about was being an effective listener, tailor making those presentations around what you've learned about the client really early in the process. So though it was very intense type of selling, there was a lot of fundamentals that I took from it
Yeah.
and was able to use that in my career that I have today.
Let's talk about emotional based selling because I think in real estate, in my experience, a lot of agents really miss that and they focus really hard on the details of like, okay, you want a 3-bed, 2-bath under this price point so your payment can stay this way. But they never ask why. Why is that important to you? What does that do for you? And that's the extension of the question that a lot of people miss is what does that do for you? Right?
Yep. So it's what they talk about is feature benefit and tying that down for that client,
Sure.
right? It's like the way it was taught to me is, well, you can be that salesperson that walks around that property, right? We had one right off the Riverwalk that we would walk them through. And you can be the type of salesperson that just says, "Hey, this is your living room. Hey, this is your bedroom. Hey, this is your bathroom." And what my mentor taught me there is like, well, that's what you call a no shit presentation. Because
Sure.
what is the client thinking to themselves? Well,
Yeah, I
no
know what a
shit,
I
you
know what a
know,
living room is. Yeah.
100%. What you want to do is paint a picture, right?
Yeah.
They're oftentimes there with their family, they're on vacation or what have you. And you have to paint the picture. You got to put them in that moment. And that's what
Yeah.
makes all the difference. Say, look, you know, y'all are busy. One person might be a doctor. Look, I get it. You're in and out of hospitals, things like that, crazy hours. And sometimes, time will get away from you. And it's really important to set that time aside with your family so you're able to do these types of things. So
Yeah.
could you just imagine being in a property like this, 5-star type of place, and you're setting the time aside to be with your family? So when you're sitting around that living room and you're looking at this beautiful view in the Riverwalk, you're setting aside that time. You can always make more money. But one thing that people talk about is you'll never get that time back.
Yeah.
So that's what I talk about in terms of using emotional based selling.
Man, you're making me want to buy a timeshare. Not on the Riverwalk,
Yeah.
but yeah, so it's taking it one step further. And I think again, like going back to real estate and people getting into it, a lot of real estate agents will tell me they're not in sales, that they don't sell. They don't like to sell. And it's like, why not? What do you mean? Like our job a lot of times, and people will like flame me for this, but our job a lot of times is to get people to see the bigger picture.
Mhm.
That it's not just about the stainless steel appliances and the granite countertops, that it's about whether or not you can grow a family here, that whether or not this property will make your long-term like net worth grow. Whatever those goals are, how does this product tie to that? Or how do you avoid that? And when you're doing timeshare, that is the problem, is like you're probably restricted to a certain, property or whatever. And we have the luxury of like presenting things. And there's plenty of times I go, this is not going to work for you. You already told me you need a good school district. You want to be like within 10 minutes of work. You want this, this, and this. This property is not for you because you've already told me these things, and that long term will affect you negatively. So it's getting people to see the big picture, think about things in a different context. So what did selling in timeshares, even if it was only 6 months, do for you in terms of like getting you to see the sales process?
Well, you had a very short window. You had a 90-minute presentation, and these packages, the first one you would present would cost over $50,000. So you go from saying hello to listening to everything that they're looking for and why they're there. And then at the end of that, you have to present and ask for the sale at the end, which can be a little scary in the beginning. You know, I was 19 years old, something that was
Oh man.
completely unnatural to me. But, you know, after a few swings at the bat, you know, some of these deals go down. You're like, oh my goodness, like, I can't believe I went from hello, never met these people, complete strangers to, yeah, we'll do that. And we'll spend $47,000 with you or
Right.
$58,000 with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That is crazy. And I'm sure at a young age too, like getting into selling early on, I had a very roundabout way of getting into sales,
Mhm.
you know, like thinking, you know, I was in music and then I was doing neurobiology. And then I was like, man, the people who are making the most money, which going back to your point, which is time value of money. If I'm going to spend time doing a job, why not try to find a job that I have like uncapped earning potential and make more per hour or per deal than pretty much anything else? And that was part of the decision making for me because yeah, I enjoy it. It's a good product to sell, but it allows me flexibility and time to do other things that I enjoy. And so you're kind of early on, 19 years old, to get into that. How did that influence your decision moving forward?
I've always loved sales. And one of those things is, I started to look at how long I have to invest in being in college. And I told myself, do I really want to do this for the next 6 years?
Yeah.
And man, I didn't want to wait. I was impatient in a good way. I want to have success early, and man, that's what ultimately got me into automotive. So
Yeah.
that's why I decided to jump in.
So you had an access point to it. You had experience at least through like your dad who had done it before.
Yeah.
And so you saw that was a path towards making money, having a career, or
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my dad, when he came here from Jordan, my mom and him, my mom and my dad got married the year or two before I was born, moved to Jordan, or from Jordan to San Antonio.
wow.
My dad was going to SAC, used to ride a bike to school, used to ride a
Wow.
bike to work, to stop and go. And then they were expecting me, and reality started to settle in and didn't pencil out, going to school, and my mom being a future stay-at-home mom, that he needed to go get a real job. So he started a Dodge store at 1989. In fact, the first car that he sold was the day I was born.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
Did he close the sale and then go to the hospital?
Yeah.
Oh man. That's crazy. Let's back up for a second. So your dad and your mom both came from Jordan
Mm-hmm.
in 1988, I take it?
Yep.
What prompted that?
My dad's father, so my grandfather moved to San Antonio a few years before then.
Okay.
And so my dad and his brothers all want to come over here. Both my parents come from kids of 10. So I have tons of first cousins. I have a huge
Wow.
family. So little by little, my dad and a few of his brothers, and eventually all of his brothers came over. So it's 6 of them all decided to move to San Antonio, and all went through different routes in their career, some of which are in automotive, some are retired from the car business. One's a dentist, one's sort of in wealth management. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So they kind of find their path, as they got here. Because I would imagine, I don't know what Jordan was like at the time, but I would imagine a lot of those opportunities didn't really exist.
No, for sure not.
Yeah. And so they're coming here for economic advantages or start a life. Also, I mean, if your grandpa came over here, and he's like, hey, this is pretty cool. He's like, there's a lot of Mexican food here. Never tried that before. Like, yeah, you gotta try it. So, having your dad having him been in that business before, you're kind of in college, you start up, do you go straight and work with him first, or did you go find your own thing?
Well, my dad tried to talk me out of it, actually.
Really?
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's not the most balanced way to live life. It's not a 9 to 5 job. It's not a job that you can work Monday through Friday and you have the weekends off. It's grinding.
Yeah.
And it's not one of those things that you grind for a little bit and then you can kind of chill out. It's
Right.
just always go. So that's one thing that for him is why he sort of tried to talk me out of it. And I said, "Look, Dad, I appreciate you. I love you very much, but I've made up my mind. This is what I want to do."
Yeah.
And that's what we went with. And my dad it was kind of an interesting story. It was in 2009 when I got in, and it was at a Mitsubishi dealership. And we go from selling new Mitsubishis, but we had very high-end cars. Sometimes I would go sell a brand new Mitsubishi Lancer for 10 grand.
Mm-hmm.
Then I turn around and go sell a GT2 RS after that for 400K.
Wow.
So there was two cars on the opposite of the spectrum, two different types of customers and everything in between. So it was good experience. My dad was a GM there. I was a salesperson there, did that for close to a year. And there was some leadership change at the corporate level at that Mitsubishi store. They let go of my dad, and I decided I didn't want to be there anymore. So I tried to figure out where to go next, and I ended up at a Toyota store in town. So, and I was there with them for 11 years. I worked for the Cavenders.
Oh, wow, dude. That's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is that where you were working when we met, or were you already at Audi?
Let's see.
It was like 4 years ago.
Yeah. So I was at the Audi store in Dominion. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Funny enough, Milad and I met through my girlfriend. He was kind of dating one of her good friends who was a nightmare, respectfully. And you were like a champion, man. I was like, this is the nicest guy I've ever met. I would have let this girl find her way home at that point, but you were a good dude. And I was like, even if Tori and this girl don't stay friends, I think Milad and I will stay friends. So it was good. It's actually great that we have stayed connected this time because I think we've had a lot of fun. We play golf and hang out, and it's been cool to see the arc of where you've wound up, which is where we are now. Let's go back to getting into car sales, because I think a lot of people who are starting in sales actually, they know that's what they want to do. They don't know why they want to do one thing or the other. Every sales path has its own challenges, has its own problems. Like, I know you guys work hard. Most guys who are successful in car sales, they are putting in a ton of hours every single day. And the only day off you get is Sunday. You're not really able to have a lot of life outside of that sometimes, especially if you're starting up. Real estate can be similar in the fact that, like, people are constantly calling you outside of hours. You're trying to close deals sometimes up until 9, 10 o'clock at night, especially when I was in residential, primarily in residential. That was the case quite a bit. You mentioned your dad closing his first car sale. When my son was born, I was sitting in the hospital after he was born, waiting for him to come back, typing up a contract. Like, you don't get time off in a lot of times in sales. So I want to know about like that transition into car sales and some of the challenges that you had.
It's a big learning curve. You make a lot of mistakes and you figure out what your style is. And sometimes you try to mimic other people and sometimes it works out. But I think the biggest thing is you learn from people who do it well and then you make it your own thing.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a blank canvas. If you're just sitting there copying everybody and just saying exactly what they say, and it's not really genuine for who you are, you're going to have a tough time.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of learning, making mistakes, and not being afraid of it. Something I've learned is if you're going to do something, do it at 100 miles an hour. Don't be scared that you're going to screw up because the more mistakes you get out of the way, the more learning opportunities you're going to get. And that, trust me, I made plenty of mistakes
Yeah.
throughout my career and learned from them and pivoted from, and it's worked out so far.
Yeah. So get as many reps as you can.
For sure.
When you're that new guy on the lot, though, what do you got to do to like get ahead, to stand out? Because I mean, it's competitive against the people that you're up against. You're constantly in sales competitions, and it's people maybe coming in or making cold calls or doing something. But what do you have to do to like advance and get as many reps as possible?
It's really not that hard. I would say is don't be a clock watcher. Don't be the person that if you have your schedule, you're in at 9 and you're off at 5, you're taking off at 4:59. What I would also say is that, man, just continue to get after it every single day. I think for me is what I wanted to do was, just be there and also, um, gosh, I lost my train of thought. It'll come back to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So show up, but I want to know, like, technically, because I've never worked in car sales, but it's always fascinated me. I've watched these guys like Grant Cardone, don't like him, but he's, transitioned into real estate. Andy Elliott, don't like him, but respect him as a salesperson. Like there's these guys that, it creates a hustle culture for sure,
Yeah.
which may or may not be toxic. I don't know. It's to me, it's like I've hustled my whole career. I don't really find it that toxic to get up at 6 a.m. and go get a workout in so that when I get to the office, I'm ready to go. And I'm not afraid of making the cold calls I need to make to hit my numbers. And I set those numbers on myself. It's not the same environment. So I respect those guys for being out there and driving salespeople, but I'm curious how that works in a car sales environment.
Yeah. So in automotive, there aren't a ton of true pros, true professionals, and that's sort of your advantage point right there. So it's sort of a pain point, right? People talk about, oh, car salespeople, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's really not that hard. It's doing what you say you're going to do. Customer service isn't saying yes to everything.
Right.
It's really just setting the right expectation and exceeding that. I think that goes a long way with people, and caring about your job and showing that you care about people. I think that makes the big difference.
Yeah.
I see over the years people who make it and people who don't. It's just true level of care, detail, and really just putting in full effort. And also, how do you want to be treated, by the other people? I mean, if you were on the other side of the sale and you were the one buying something, how do you want to be treated when you come in to buy a car?
Sure. Putting yourself in their shoes. I think that's interesting. And I have, bought and sold quite a few cars, and I've had great experiences and I've had terrible experiences. And also as a salesperson, I kind of like I love to listen to a pitch or like see how a person operates. And I've seen the whole gambit, and I've seen how, like, I don't expect you to throw anybody under the bus, but I'll do it because I've had bad experiences. But for instance, like Toyota Boerne, I've had some really bad experiences trying to buy cars there. And it was as simple as coming in and us setting an expectation of, we will buy this car if we can get X amount for our trade and we can get our payment at X amount. And otherwise we can't do it. And it's not a thing of like, I don't like you, I'm not going to buy this car. It's, this is my expectation.
Mm.
What the salesperson did that I did not like was promise that they could make something happen and then nickel and dime us along the way until we got to a point where we're like, we're walking away right now.
Mm.
And then as we're walking out the door, trying to meet that expectation that we set originally, and it was too late. It was like you were trying to take advantage of the situation from the beginning instead of saying, yeah, I think I can get that done. Here's my best offer. Let's go from there. It was, how much can I get out of this person? And it was so bad. I couldn't go back there to buy another car. But I've had other experiences where the guys are upfront, honest. When they set the expectation, that's what they delivered. And there wasn't this like big back and forth, bullshit, write your name on this and sign this offer letter, and I know you and I know how you operate, and I expect that, like, what you're saying is true. You can't be this successful and operate that way
Mm-mm.
because you get a bad reputation. You're not going to get repeat customers.
Right.
So the business that you're in now, like doing luxury cars, is all going to be based on repeat customers and reputation.
I mean, we live by this, which is our statement is relationships for life. And we truly mean that. And
Yeah,
I think that's where a lot of car people will slip up is it's not about that one transaction the first time you meet somebody. And I communicate that to any client that I've never spoken with or worked with before. I say, look, we're going to get this deal done and we're going to make it work. And I want to make sure that you have an enjoyable experience, that you're going to want to come back over and over again. You're going to be an advocate for us to send us your friends and family. And I want you to be able to trust that we're going to take good care of you.
yeah,
And that's really all the difference. And you'll be amazed about what people will do whenever they get taken care of the
sure,
right way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, coming back to, I mean, tell us a little bit more about what you're trying to do here. So Mark Motors has been around for, I guess 7 years now,
Since 2017. So 8 years. Yeah.
7, 8 years.
Yeah.
And obviously an amazing operation. Like, look at the cars behind us. Like, you guys are doing something great. I'm curious what your kind of expectations are coming into this place and how you expect to continue to elevate what they've been doing.
Yeah. They're sort of the darling in the exotic space. And, I want to come in and leave it better than it was. I have a big vision. I can see that we can create multiple points and we want to penetrate other markets. But first, I want to be able to grow this even more to a point where it's never been before.
Yeah.
I want us to be able to continue to sell at a national level, increase the volume, and get a good mix of different cars, stuff that we've never had before, things like that, even though we've touched pretty much everything you could think of. But just figure out ways to be even better than we are now. I really just want to be a good steward of this business.
Yeah.
I have a lot of admiration for the owners here, and I want to think like an owner and just take good care of this place because I care about it.
Well, and obviously you're not dealing with like a standard customer here. Like, these guys are car enthusiasts. They obviously have deep pockets. Talk about the expectations of selling like a luxury car versus selling something else.
I mean, you're not dealing with inexpensive cars. I mean, you're talking about $500,000 cars, $1 million cars. You're talking Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren, Rolls-Royce, Bentley. I mean, these expectations are high. So we have to take very long looks at the cars that we get. And some cars just don't meet that standard, and that's okay. We don't have to sell everything retail. We have other ways of selling these cars.
Yeah.
So we have some of the best techs that you could possibly find, some of the best detailers out there, and we handle our cars with true care. And if it doesn't meet the standard, man, it's not a big deal. We're not going to cut a corner just so we can retail a car.
Sure.
Because, like I said, it's just about taking care of these people and making them feel like they want to come back. And then also a lot of times when we sell these cars, we end up getting these cars back on trade and they end up buying something else. So why would we not want to take great care of these cars and get the right type of cars
Yeah.
and have them back later and become a problem? We don't want that.
Well, how do you elevate your service? What do you have to deliver when you're dealing with a person like this or a client like this?
There's a lot of different ways you can do that. Oh, he's locked out.
Oh, he's locked out.
Should we leave?
Temporary
Walter out there?
pause. We'll let Walter back in. Our video guy's been locked out for hours. While we take this break, I will talk about our sponsor today. Actually, no, I just got my head shaved by Deadbeats Barbershop. Sheldon, thank you so much. I stopped in. I'm doing a sponsorship pause real quick. He didn't give me any money, but he fit me into his tight schedule to shave my head because my razor went dead this week. So thank you, Sheldon, for that. And now we're back to Milad. Walter has joined us. He made it into the building. Okay, so we were talking about luxury car buyers' expectations and sellers' expectations. And what are some of the things you've had to do to, like, go the extra mile?
Uh, man, we've had all kinds of things. Like we sold, we have a Ford GT over there. It's 2006 with 600 miles. We had something similar to that. Real good client of ours. She lives in the Houston area. And she had a whole production done. We have trailers specifically for Mark Motors. She wanted to have us take that trailer, drive it up to Houston, be there at a specific time. And she sort of had her own mini car show whenever we arrived there.
Oh, wow.
And she had a whole production team and everything like that. So everything had to go just right. So that way she can have the experience she wanted. I mean, these people are not spending a little amount of money. So if
Yeah.
we can accommodate exactly what they want, we're going to make it happen. A lot of times, things don't always go right exactly the way it's supposed to. So you have to pick up the phone, call people. Sometimes it costs you a little bit more money, but it makes all the difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Right before I got here, actually, I was, do you know who Jesse Eisenberg is? He's a pretty famous, kind of influencer. He mostly just runs marathons now, but he's done all kinds of stuff, hip hop. He had a jet company for a while, and he kind of started it out of nowhere and was brokering like private jet experiences for people. And he had a NFL agent who was flying down to meet a guy to sign a contract worth about $100 million. And the jet broke on the runway before this guy could take off. And Jesse's not anywhere around it. And the guy calls, he's furious. He's like, this is a huge deal to me. And Jesse says, look, 1 in 100 flights, something's going to go wrong. And I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do about it. He was green. He was brand new. The company was probably not even profitable yet. He's like, if I could be there for 10 days straight to make sure this plane got fixed, I would be there right now. And I can't do it. But I promise you, if you give us another chance, I will do everything in my power to make sure this never happens again, that you're always taken care of. And the guy was so impressed with that conversation, with the honesty around it, not trying to blame anybody else for the issue, right? Taking full accountability, taking care of it, that guy went on to put into his agency contracts with every NFL player that he worked with, that they would get 100 flights from Jesse Eisenberg's company every single year. And it was insane. Like, that grew his business from what it was to something huge that he sold years later. But taking that extra step to take accountability, like be honest with a client, not try to sell them something, not try to like puff smoke, but be a real person with them, like took it to the next level.
Yeah. And people can feel that.
Yeah.
It's not normal for someone to just take accountability. Unfortunately, that's just, you don't hear it. It's always a bunch of excuses, and it's sort of a half-hearted apology, and it's just not real.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of, owning it and saying that you're going to make it right can make all the difference for somebody. That's a beautiful story. Yeah.
Well, so I like that. And I know that you've only been here a couple months now, but it sounds like you have a clear vision for what you want to accomplish. I'm really curious how this space operates. Like, who are your competitors for these types of cars?
Try not to think about that. I just try to think about what we can do best.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Man, I got to tell you, we're laughing all day. And, though we were very serious about our business and we want to make sure we take care of people, we have a blast doing it.
Yeah.
It's the most fun. I mean, no one takes themselves too seriously. We're just over here, joking around a little bit, and and everyone sort of operates more freely and gets to be themselves. It's really cool.
Yeah. And so you don't have that toxic high pressure sales environment.
No.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is like, I don't set these guys on a schedule. I sort of let them operate on their own. These guys are all pros. We don't have a big staff. It's 3 salespeople. It's myself, our finance director. We have an assistant that's on the sales side of things. And I sort of let them do their thing. I like to lead by being here, being available, whatever they need. Not too proud to do anything. I'll pick up the mop and clean something. I'll go talk to a customer. I'll pick up the phone and call someone. If there's a customer service issue, I'll be the one talking to them. If there's anything that they need, I feel like if they feel supported, I'm there with them and I'm grinding out with them, they're there. I mean, these guys, they have their days off. A lot of times they don't even want to take the day off because they enjoy being here. They love it so much.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it doesn't feel like work while we're here. It really
Yeah.
doesn't.
I'm curious how, as a leader of a group like this, like a luxury car sales division that is one of only a few. I know you didn't want to talk about your competitors, and I understand that, but there's not a lot of these places in the country. There's really not. And so, how do you like train your guys to stand out?
A lot of these guys are veterans. I have Mario, who's been in automotive for a long time. He knows exactly what to do and what to say. I sort of just get out of the way. At times, he just wants to be supported and just say, hey, can you pick up the phone and call this client? Would you mind talking to him? That Ferrari Roma that'll be headed out to Florida here in a couple of days. He's like, hey, can you call this customer? We're pretty close on making a deal. I can't quite take it across the finish line. Will you call him? I said, of course. So I called the guy, talked to the guy for 30 minutes. And we built good rapport. He just said, look, I never bought a car from out of state, never bought a car that I've never seen in person before. He's like, I just don't want any stories. I get you. That's why I'm calling you. I want to make sure that you have a great experience. I'm treating it as if I'm over there on that farm in Florida and I'm buying this Ferrari, spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
I get it. Man, I'm laying on the ground. I'm FaceTiming with the guy. I'm like, okay, this one has like a little bit of imperfection under the PPF underneath the car.
Right.
It did its job. I don't think you want us to paint a car like this. He's like, I agree. He's like, man, I appreciate you doing this. I'm like laying on the ground, like looking at this car and he's all excited. He's like, and he's like, well, what about this other one? I said, man, you don't want that one for a couple of different reasons. And I got into the specific options because it's the smallest details on these cars that make the biggest impact on what these cars are worth. And they trust us to have the experience and know what we're talking about because we've made the mistakes. We've bought the wrong cars and paid the wrong money.
Yeah.
And we know what works and what doesn't work. We know what's the right type of car to get. I mean, it's something as small as having shields on the side of a Ferrari or having the right amount of carbon fiber or roof scoop on that McLaren over there. I mean, these things truly matter and they make a huge impact on what the values of these cars.
Okay. That's a great place to like kind of dig in for a second, because if people are watching this and they're thinking about, buying one of these cars, maybe it's their first one, maybe they're, a Bitcoin or a Dogecoin millionaire. What should they look for in a luxury car that's going to make sure that it holds its value and, is worth what they're paying for it?
It's model specific.
Yeah.
Right? So not everything's the same, like these Porsches, these GT3s, you want things like carbon bucket seats, carbon brakes, things like that. You're looking for these types of things. Has a carbon serviced correctly. You want to make sure that the history's clean on this car. There's no paint work on the car. On these Mercedes G-Wagons, you want to make sure it's the right type of interior on that car. Things like that. Just because there's two different same model of car, the options make the difference on these cars. So a lot of times dealers will not show you what the window stickers are. We get a hold of all the window stickers on the car. We present all the options on the car so they know exactly what they're getting.
So like the original window sticker?
Yeah.
Like with all the options and upgrades and stuff?
Yeah, we have relationships with different manufacturers, different dealers.
So you like pull it from the VIN?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that you're not, you're comparing apples to apples. Yeah.
Exactly. So, they might say, hey, Milad, I'm looking at this purple Technica. There's another one that's real similar. It's out in New Jersey. I pull the VIN, I run the build, and like, it's a $40,000 difference in MSRP in car. Right. And the difference in price is like $3,000. I don't think you're going to want to buy that other car. You can, but man, you're getting so much more car here than you would the one in New Jersey.
Yeah.
That can make a big difference. So, being a good guide and helping them understand, making it make sense for them, it's very impactful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the biggest sleeper car in the luxury world? Let's talk about like sports car, not SUV.
Man, I'm a big fan of these Huracans.
It's not a sleeper though. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, sleeper. Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's hard to say.
Like, what's the best bang for your buck, I guess?
I really like those Ferrari 430s.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're sweet. Yeah.
Is that the
So
white one over there?
so we got two of them. So that '08, that Spider right there, that's an '08. Uh, really nice car. I mean, it's sub 150K. Super clean car. I think there was only 5 in that color ever made for that year model. So specific. You could probably buy that car a year from now, probably be worth about the same money.
Yeah.
Keep it for years. I'm sure it'll go creep up. That 2005 430 right there, that one's special because it's a gated 6 manual car. Super sweet. There are some really solid companies that will convert it into a gated, but that's actually factory gated.
Wow.
That's pretty sweet. Yeah.
What does that even mean?
It's manual transmission.
Oh, okay.
So it's got that gated 6 manual transmission, really old school looking.
That's sick.
Just, pure car enthusiasts will love a car like that. And those cars are hard to find, especially factory like that. They're sweet.
How do you make sure that people who are buying cars from you always come back? Not just like, we're talking about like aftercare.
Yeah.
How do you take care of clients after they've already bought your car?
Following up, making sure that they're completely happy with the cars and being there for them. And, a lot of times salespeople will show that they care a lot before the sale happens. And then once it's done, it's like crickets. They can't get you can't get a hold of them. They're slow to respond, anything like that. We're usually initiating the contact. It's the next day, it's 3 days after, it's 5 days after. If they have a question, we want to be on top of it, all over it. Man, I live on my phone. I mean, I'm constantly getting texts and calls, but I make it it's a practice that I want to make sure that I get back to anybody as fast as I possibly can.
Can I tell you about what blew my mind with buying this Porsche? So I did buy it it was certified pre-owned from a dealership in Chicago, but about a month later, I get a package in the mail that's like, it was like a suitcase, and I open it up, like having no clue what it is. It is a custom Porsche box. Open it up, a letter from the CEO signed with my car details in the letter. It said, "Thank you for joining the Porsche family. You bought them this Macan S. Like, obviously we're so proud of this car, but we just want to welcome you and make sure you're taken care of." It had a pin, like a Porsche pin, notepad, something else, like a rag or something that they had done, like a towel. And I was like, oh my God, I feel so important right now. And it made me want to level up my aftercare for my clients. I'm like, oh, why have I not done this? We've sent some care packages in the past, but I'm like, I immediately sent the picture of that to my admin, and I was like, every one of our clients needs this after they close on a house. Like a month later, 60 days later, when they're not expecting it, that's when it counts. Is like, you almost forgot about me. Now I'm back on your mind. And I want people to know that they're taken care of and that we really value that relationship. So maybe you guys do something like that. Mark Motors hat and swag box.
Yeah, I mean, we give them like a bottle of wine as well, a lot with every purchase, things like that. We do that time to sell, but I think 30 days, 60-day trailing, that's a pretty good idea. I like that. Yeah.
Take it from Porsche.
Yeah. Love it.
Well, yeah, man, I've really enjoyed like just being in this space. Like, people should come check it out. I know, just walking around, it's honestly inspiring. Like, being in the Lambo, I was like, I got to work harder. I'm ready for my Lambo. Maybe it's the Lambo. Maybe it's the Ferrari. You said that one's under 150?
Yeah.
All right. We got to do some paperwork. Not in this economy. Maybe next year when rates go down. But, yeah, man, I think it's super cool, and obviously really proud to see what you're doing here, and proud of the accomplishment of getting to where you're at. But I feel like it's just the beginning for you. You feel like you just turned over a new chapter.
Yeah. I mean, we're just scratching the surface. Like I said, I have big plans for not just this place, but just for the organization in total.
Yeah.
I'd like to penetrate other markets within Texas and then eventually creep into Florida and California, and maybe a few more franchise dealers. It's going to be big.
I feel like you could sell a lot in Dubai, but what do I know?
Yeah, actually, we do have a client that's in Dubai that's interested in a car of ours. Yeah. Yeah.
That's how you know you've made it, man. If you start selling Lambos to Dubai, that's like, it's pretty close to Italy. So
Yeah, that AMG GT Black Series is being targeted right now by a client in Dubai. Yeah,
that's a special car.
that's
See, I thought you would say that was the sleeper, because I feel like the AMGs just don't get enough like clout for how badass they are. That's how I know somebody really knows really likes driving.
that thing is crazy.
Yeah.
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 The only thing I would probably suggest, is like this one has, it's got an exhaust on it. So,
Yeah.
so it's got a little bit more sound to it. I think that's what most people will say, like, oh, it's just not loud enough. I mean, that can be a quick change with an exhaust. And that thing it sounds mean.
Yeah.
Not only
it
does
looks mean, man. I like how long it is. Yeah. It's just like, it's a cool car.
Yeah, the car's insane.
Okay. Well, next year around this time, what are you going to be driving?
Man, I mean, I can drive anything that's here. So
Yeah. Why would you? You're like, whichever one I want.
I mean, last night was that white 488 last night. It was that Black Series the other day. It was that purple Technica.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
over
I
at
saw you. Everybody was looking at that bad boy.
my buddy Nolan's place. We met
Yeah.
up at the Oak. I took that other gray
Yep.
Technica out.
Yep. It's great marketing, man.
Yeah.
When you park that thing in front, everybody's going, whose car is this? And you're like, it's mine. Also, it's for sale. Come see me. Like, yeah.
It's fun.
That's gotta be the coolest way to be able to market. It's like, if I could live in every one of the luxury houses that I get to sell, like, that would be great.
I bet.
Go host a party at every one of them. Like, this is my $10,000 or 10,000 square foot mansion for the weekend. So yeah. That's cool, man. It's been fun. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything that you feel people would want to know about you or about what you do?
Man, like I said, I just want to take care of people and just continue to care for my family and take care of them and just be the best person I can be.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all about. It's just continuous improvement.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm no different than anyone else. And I just want to see what I can do and push myself.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, this has been the Guru and the Good Dude with my homie Milad. If you guys are in the market for a luxury car, he's got plenty of them. And trustworthy. He'll take care of you. No gimmicks. It's the real deal.
Yeah. Or if you just want to come by and hang out, check out a cool place to hang out and see some sweet rides, welcome anytime. Anyone's welcome.
Yeah.
Door's always open.
Come get a coffee and water, hang out.
Yeah.
And we'll do donuts in the parking lot next time.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. We'll do it with the Lambos right after this.
All right. Stay tuned for the Lambo donuts. All right. Thanks, guys, for checking it out. And thank you, Milad. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.